Good, good afternoon. This is take two because my first post, for those of you who were watching it, I managed to record sideways again. Not the first time, and you would think I learnt from that. So I have deleted it so you don't have to turn your device sideways to look at me. So I'm going to start again on this topic, which is to do with school refusal. Now, this topic came about due to a comment by Jane, by someone on my vlogs, about what to do when your child won't go to school. I thought I'd start today with what school refusal is, because it might surprise you a little bit. The definition of school refusal includes your child going to school but saying they don't want to and hating it, and basically, every day it's not enjoyable, but they go. And they may or may not be participating fully when they get there. It ranges all the way through to children and some clients I've seen who've missed terms of school. In between, it looks at children who don't go for the day, or they're chronically late, or they're missing periods of time within school. They might go to the sick bay, they might just sit out classes. So yeah, they're not there. So they're physically at school. Now, the difference between school refusal and wagging or truancy is, as a parent, you know what your child is doing. So kids who are truant, they don't tell you. They pretend they're going to school. They just don't turn up. So we're not talking about them today. We're talking about the other ones. So why is this topic so important? When your child is either chronically late, missing the bus, you have to take them to school, or they walk to school but they never make it on time, or they're lying in bed and you can't get them out of bed, or you're arguing, you might be in tears, they might be in tears. I've known clients who are trying physically to get their kids out of bed. This is not the way we want to spend the day. This is not the dynamic that we want to have in our family. It sucks, quite frankly. And, maybe when they're 5 or 6, you can go, all right, don't get out of bed, I'm going to take you in your pyjamas, or I'm going to ring your teacher. And that might work. And sometimes kids have been taken in their pyjamas. And that way they know this is what we mean. School's important, you go. Unless you've got a fever or you're throwing up, or I can tell by looking at you, you are really unwell, you go to school. But you can't do that when they're 18, 16, 15. You cannot physically get them out of bed. Threats don't work. It's really hard. What do you do? So I think it's always important to have a bit of an understanding about why your child isn't going or doesn't want to go to school. So there's 3 different categories we can fit that into. Number 1 is mental health of your child. They may have anxiety, diagnosed or undiagnosed. They might be depressed, just totally stressed out. There's a range of other conditions they may have, but anxiety and depression are huge big ones for why your kid can't get out of bed and get to school. So that's coming from within them. Another issue is to do with what's going on in your house. If your house might have a bit of conflict going on, you might have someone who's sick physically or mentally. There just might be a lot of things going on at home, and your child wants to be there. They might want to be there to look after you. I might be really worried if they go to school that something's going to happen. So the issues going on at home. It might be they have to take care of a younger child. So there's a lot of different complex things that can pop up. And the third category of reasons is to do with the school. They might be being bullied. They might be going through some friendship or relationship crisis that you're unaware of. They might get on with your teacher. I love teachers, but sometimes there's personality issues. Sometimes you have a teacher that just doesn't get your child, or for no particular reason there might be clashes going on there. And the other reason to do with school is they're having a hard time with the work. They may be having a particular type of learning difficulty, whether that's reading, writing, understanding what's going on, being able to remember things. problems with organisation. There's actually quite a range of difficulties your child could be having. In my practice, I've come across kids in year 10 or 11 who've gone the whole way through school with undiagnosed learning disorders. And they've had comments on their reports about them being lazy, being disorganised, don't get their work done, do better if they paid attention. So they've had years and years and years of negative comments, when really these kids have been trying their best, but there's been something that hasn't worked for them. They've had a processing difficulty, they've had a reading disorder, they've had dyslexia, and it's taken all this time. And one of the greatest moments I've had in my work is having someone come up to me after I've done an assessment and say, "Oh, thank you. That has made such a difference to me at school." There you go. It's one of the reasons why we do this job. It's one of the reasons why Positive Young Minds exists, to work with you and your child so that we can create wonderful adults. And that's the tagline of my business. So I'm going to leave it there. Watching this after and you like what I'm talking about, please let me know. Send me a like, a love, tag someone, share something, share it with someone. And if you would like me to email you, to send you some information about some learning checklists, some checklists on why your child might be school refusing, please do so. I'll put my email in the comments below. There you go. So if you believe, like I do, that it takes us working together as a village to raise a child, share the video, share the love, and together we can work on growing wonderful adults. Okay, bye for now.